Hi everyone, my name is Ruthie, and I'm going to begin by asking you to please close your eyes. And what I want you to do is, I want you to picture it's a few days before Christmas. And you just walked in the house with your kids from a long day of shopping and having fun, getting ready for the holidays. You guys walk in the house, and the kids right now are really tired, and you guys are all excited from the wonderful day that you've had. So what you do is you start to get the kids ready for bed. You put the kids in bed, you read them a story, and you watch as they slowly fall asleep. Once they're asleep, you go ahead and kiss them goodnight, and you begin to do your normal sweep of the house. You begin to check the doors and the windows, make sure that everything is safe. Finally, you get to bed. You are super exhausted, and you finally fall asleep. All of a sudden, you hear a loud noise. You wake up, and you know that there's an intruder. You call 911, you give them your address, you drop the phone, and you reach for your handgun that's on your side table next to your bed. You begin to quickly approach the room of the girls, when suddenly you see that the intruder has one of your kids held at gunpoint. The intruder does not know that you are armed. You go ahead, you look, you have a clean shot, you take it, and you kill the intruder. Everybody open your eyes, please. Okay. According to the FBI database, over the past 2 years, there's been about 4,977 households that use firearms for defense during a situation in which they thought they or a member of their family was going to be harmed. Today, I will be talking about illegal gun trafficking, and by the end, you will learn some facts about illegal gun trafficking and the effects that they have in today's society. Some of the things that I'll be talking about today, one of them is the states that are permitted to carry firearms. Are crime rates less, or are they more? The purchase of illegal firearms. The crime rates due to illegal firearms, how high they are or how low they may be. Should firearms be legalized in all states? What would we gain if every state were able to carry a firearm? So now that you know a little bit about what I'll be talking about today, let's go over some of those things that I want to kind of emphasize a little bit more so that you guys can have a little bit more awareness of where I want to lead you today. So according to the Coalition StopOfGunViolence.org, in blue you'll see the rates of the illegal firearms, and in red you'll see how much crime has been committed due to the cause of purchasing an illegal firearm. So in 2008, 15% of illegal firearms were purchased. In that same year, there was a crime rate of about 35%. In 2009, about 25% of illegal firearms were purchased. The crime rate then went up, about 37%. In 2010, the purchase of illegal firearms was about 39%. By then now, you see that there's growing an increase in crime rate. So now it's about 42%. And then in 2011, the purchase of illegal firearms was about 43%, 44% give or take. And then it shot up the crime rate to about 55%. So I want to be talking about three types of, now that you know a little bit about this, I want to talk about 3 ways that you can purchase an illegal firearm or how they're sold today. So according to gun reform, an article Issues and Controversies, is the purchase of illegal firearms the leading cause of death? No, 60% of illegal firearms are the leading cause of death. The first the first main way that you can purchase a firearm is through through a person that works through the state, and they sell firearms. And what they do is they take a lot of the firearms that they're supposed to sell, and they take them off the books, and they sell them illegally. That's one of the ways that you can purchase a firearm. Another way that you can purchase a firearm is through what they call Tupperware parties. And those Tupperware parties, what they do is they gather a bunch of people, and in those Tupperware parties, you don't need to have a license to purchase a gun. There's no background checks. You just go, and since there's a little loophole in the system, nobody actually questions private gun owners who sell their guns to the public. So anyone can purchase a gun with no kind of background check, no nothing. So one of the things that people tend to be misinformed about is they think that firearms are not sold by people who work in the government. Well, like I said, it's false. Because 20% of illegal firearms are sold by people who work through the federal government and are gun dealers, gun owners. Do children ever come in contact with firearms, or do they, by the age of 25, is when they really come in contact with firearms? Is that really true? It's not true. Children as young as the age of 7 come in contact with firearms. So now that you know a little bit about what I wanted to inform you guys about, and how illegal trafficking, gun trafficking is dispersed, and how often it's purchased, and the crime rates that it has, I want to ask you, how many of you would be willing to go around your neighborhood and demand them to hand over all firearms and start a daily protest on banning all firearms? Or how many of you would be willing to sign a petition allowing only licensed handguns to be allowed in a home? Thank you.
You are ready because you volunteered.
Yeah. No, I just want to get it over. Okay, so
You can do this. You can do this.
now? Okay. Good morning. My name is Melissa. Can everyone please close their eyes? Imagine being in a warm, safe environment, in your own personal cocoon, receiving all nutrients and anything needed to keep alive and keep thriving. You can hear a voice. This is your mother. She is crying. Then you hear silence for a while. Suddenly you're being ripped piece by piece out, losing any connection to safety, losing anything you have with your mother. You've just been aborted. Open your eyes. Now, one woman dies every 7 minutes around the world. According to abortion statistics, one woman dies every 7 minutes around the world due to unsafe, illegal abortions. Now to know what I'm going to talk about, I want you to know my main points today. Who's paying for this? Is it fair how this is being divided? Abortion. Is abortion the right choice? Do you all really know the different options that there are? And can anyone really recover from abortion? Have you seen the consequences that are made? This slide is really graphic at the end, okay? So I'm just warning. Okay. So according to Fact or Fiction, Taxology Will Fund Abortions by Tom Curry, NBC News. These are some myths that are commonly said from people throughout time. Your taxes don't pay for the abortions. You know what your taxes pay. You know where your taxes that you have to pay go to schooling, to whatever it is. Amendments have been passed saying health insurances would not cover abortions. These are all myths. Your taxes do pay abortions. A bill was passed saying part of this part of it will pay for the act. So there's people that don't want to pay for abortions, and they are paying for it unwillingly. Your money goes to a federal agency where they decide the destination. If you don't know what your federal agency does, they will fund it. And the amendment saying that the health insurance would not cover was turned down. Okay. Is abortion the right choice? According to the CDC and CHS National Survey of Family Growth 2002, of 55,742,000 women aged 18 through 44 in 2002, 62.2% of 55,742,000 were seeking to adopt. That's a really big number. The other 38.8 were not. 62.2 women were either not able to have kids or were looking to adopt more kids. When abortions are done, there are less kids for all these women that want to adopt a child. For the society, according to the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children, that is a 9-week fetus. Okay, it has brain cells, it has nerves, and it was taken out of its mother. This is an 8-week fetus. It was taken out with no care or respect, ripped away from its mother. And this one is a 10-week fetus that was aborted, that came out in its placenta. And you can even see its heart. In this picture, it shows each cross represents a million surgical abortions since 1973. There could be like 20 crosses back there, and you don't even know. Okay, so will you all promise to attend a protest of abortion of any clinic? Will you all stand outside, picket fences and all, yelling at people who won't try to go in? Is it possible for you all to remember at least what I told you and pass on this information and possibly save a life? Thank you.
Okay, good morning. My name is Taylor, and starting off, I'd like to ask everybody to please close their eyes. So I'd like everybody here to imagine that somebody very close to them, maybe your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, maybe even your best friend, they were just diagnosed with a terminal illness. Now, a few months in, they're going through chemotherapy and many different experimental treatments, but nothing seems to be working, and they're in a lot of pain. Now, they tell you they want to kill themselves, but they don't want to do it. They don't want to hang themselves. They don't want to, stab themselves. They don't want to shoot themselves. They want physician-assisted suicide. But in Florida, where you live, it's not legal. Now, please open your eyes. According to Vicki Lackman from nursingworld.org, physician-assisted suicide is only legal in 3 out of 50 states in the United States of America. And today I'm going to be talking about dying with dignity and physician-assisted suicide in terminally ill patients, assisted suicide, and is it really euthanasia, the common misconceptions about assisted suicides, and choosing to die, the right to live and having the right to die. So here we have the prescription recipients and actual deaths from 2009 to 2012 in Oregon. And this is according to the Oregon Public Health Division from oregon.org.gov. And in the green, you'll see physician-assisted suicide prescription recipients. So those are the people who actually applied to die with dignity, to have their physician prescribe them the medication to die. And then in the blue, those are the actual people who took the medication and actually died in that year. So in 2009, 95 people received the prescription and only 59 died. In 2010, 87 people prescribed it, or were prescribed it, and 65 took it. In 2011, 114 people were prescribed it, and 71 died. And in 2012, 115 people died, or prescribed it, and 77 died. So as you can see, it's constantly growing through the years. And these are a couple of misconceptions about physician-assisted suicide, and this is according to Vicki Lockman from nursingworld.org. And the first one is physician-assisted suicide and euthanasia are the same, which that's probably the most common misconception and why people are so against physician-assisted suicide. But in actuality, euthanasia is defined as allowing someone to die by withholding extreme medical measures. And if you think about it, sometimes that can be legal. A person could say, I don't want to eat, I don't want to drink, and if they're extremely sick, that will cause them to die. Next, we have anyone can die by means of physician-assisted suicide. This is false. A patient must be terminally ill. You can't just be unhappy with your life or really depressed. You have to be terminally ill. Next, once a patient is diagnosed, they can request their life to be ended. This is false. A patient must be in their last 6 months of life. So they must be given a prognosis by a doctor saying you only have 6 months to live. And lastly, once requested, a patient may not cancel their request of a physician-assisted suicide. This is false. A person may cancel their request at any time. So if you get scared or nervous, you can't back out. And here we have a picture of Cody Curtis. This is from the documentary by Peter Richardson, How to Die in Oregon. It's a really good documentary if you ever have time to watch it. It's surrounded about physician-assisted suicide. And she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in late 2008. And throughout the movie, it details her giving her jewelry away to her daughter, showing her son how to bake cookies, and giving him the recipe before she dies. And she decides to off herself by physician-assisted suicide. And in December of 2009, she takes a lethal dose of Seconal, which is a barbiturate, and she died on camera. It's really, I mean, I never cried so much in my life. It's a really powerful thing. And here we have a map of the United States, and this is detailed by Evie Sobsiak from therightTodie.org. And the states in red, you can see, those are the states where physician-assisted suicide is legal currently. All the states in green are the states that are pending legislation to make it a law in their state. And then all the states in blue, physician-assisted suicide is considered manslaughter, so you can't go to prison for it for up to 10 years, depending on what state you're in. And here we have a political cartoon, which was very popular in all the green states that were just shown during election time. And this is from Melissa Barber from deathwithdignity.org, and it says, with a man who's dying in a hospital bed, I'm terminally ill, racked with the pain, lack of control of my body, can't hold down food, and want to control my own death. And the voter says, that makes me very uncomfortable. And it's kind of like, if you're here dying and in pain, who is someone else to say, no, you can't kill yourself? It just doesn't make sense. So, after hearing what I've had to say, how many of you would vote to legalize physician-assisted suicide in Florida and the entire United States? Not too many people? Okay, well, if that is too much to ask, how many of you will be able to inform your friends and family about physician-assisted suicide and explain its pros and cons? Thank you.
It's okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Stephanie. I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes, please. Okay. Imagine that you guys are in an adventure in the Death Valley located in Southern California. The Death Valley is known as the hottest, driest, and lowest place in North America. It is 11 in the morning and the temperature is 134 Fahrenheit. And the only thing you wish for is something to drink, because you didn't thought it was that hot, so you forgot to bring something with you. While you're walking, you see close to you a cooler, so you run to it, and when you get there, you open it. You see a variety of drinks. You all open your eyes, please. According to on water.org, 5% of Americans do not drink enough water. I'm going to talk about the importance of drinking water, so by the end of my speech, you will know how to be healthy with water. My first main point is the skin problems, dry skin. The second one is going to be health problems, dehydration, and the third one is going to be illnesses, obesity. This graphic shows what and how much does America drinks. From 2008 to 2009, 20% of America drink milk, so it's been decreased from 2008 to 2009. 60% drinks coffee, it's been decreased 10% to 2009. 40% drinks water, but it's been decreasing since 2008 until 2009. And other drinks, they started 40% and then it decreased about 25%. From 2009 to 2010, we can see milk is keep decreasing. If we see coffee, it's the same in the 10% of Americans that drink coffee. And water, it's been increasing about 15%. And other drinks, it's been increasing about the same amount of water, or a little bit more. And from 2010 to 2011, we can see milk is still the same point. Coffee is keep increasing as well as water and other drinks. But we can see that the one that is major, that Americans drink more, is other drinks, like sodas or juices or that drinks. Is water that important? According to nutritionabout.com, people rather drink other drinks than water because they think they get the same benefit with other drinks. But according to nutritionists, water is the best choice to be healthy and hydrated. Some Americans do not drink water because it doesn't have a taste, so they prefer caffeine drinks or another drinks. But doctors recommend patients to drink water instead of other drinks because the calories affect the sugar and dehydrate us. People drink water when they feel thirsty, but they're supposed to drink water every time. So doctors recommend to drink 8 to 10 glasses of water per day to keep hydrated. Do we drink something because we want it or because we need it? According to livestrong.com, we are going to see the difference when drinking water and drinking other drinks, in this case soda. Water hydrates us, refreshes, is healthy for us, clean our acne, clean our skin. It has 0 calories, so it's healthy for us. It's natural and it's good for our body. If we drink other drinks, in this case soda, it's gonna have chemicals. It has calories, it's man-made, so it's not natural, and gives you gas. So you're gonna have stomach problems, and it's harmful for our body. Here we can see a picture of New York City Department of Health and Mental Health. It's telling, are you pouring on the pond? So it's telling us that with other drinks than water, we are just getting calories to our body, and we are getting fat in this case. Same, we can see that water has 0 calories from anything, and cola or other drinks have calories, carbohydrates, sodium, and sugar. And when we drink water, we need energy for our health. We want to be beautiful. We need oxygen for our body, and then we can keep our body healthy, so that way we if we gain weight, we can have a good choice to lose weight with water. So today I want to ask you if you can always stop drinking all the drinks and just drink water. That's too much, right? I won't do that either. So, but if I ask you if you can increase drinking water without quitting to your favorite drinks, who would do that? Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Catherine, and I would like to warn you about the pictures in my PowerPoint because they can be a little bit graphic. So can you please close your eyes? Now imagine that you have arrived to a place where you are surrounded by people that look very happy and are celebrating, but you don't understand the reason for their happiness. Then, along the distance, you see as someone is getting closer to you, his arm with a lance, and you realize he wants to hurt you. And the first thing that comes to your mind is to fight for your life. Everyone starts cheering for this man, but you still don't comprehend why. Now, he's only a couple feet away from you, and your instincts tell you to attack, because he's dangerous. So you do. Somehow, he knew you were coming, and he stabs you before you even got the chance to react, which causes you to lose blood rapidly. And this happens not just once, but 6 times. When you are bleeding, you look at the crowd and see them still cheering for this guy who wants to take your life. And no one seems to care, so you feel helpless. Finally, you feel weak without any strength left. Then, this guy approaches you with a sword and stabs you in the back. And somehow you're still alive, bleeding out in pain, and you just want this suffering to end. But your suffering doesn't end here. And he cut one of your ears and showed it as a trophy. The crowd is happy. They idolize you. And now they are throwing them flowers, all because you are dying. After bleeding out in pain, you die, without having the right to know why they put you through this. So you wonder and ask to yourself, is it a sin to be an animal, a book? You can open your eyes now. According to the World Society Protection of Animals, every year approximately 250,000 wolves are killed all around the world because people think this is culture, entertainment, sport, and tradition. Today, I will talk to you about animal cruelty. So by the beginning of my speech, you will learn different cases of this, and by the end of my speech, you have learned facts and how to prevent it. My main point will be types and number of animal abuse. This is classified in different things, and each of them has a number. Wrong ideas that people have about animal abuse in some places, like entertainment industry or foreign crimes. And finally, some common places where animal cruelty still happens and it is legal, like laboratories and entertainment shows. So, first of all, according to Animal Abuse Register Database Administration, statistics have shown that animal abuse has been constant since the year 2000, and is classified in different types. Mutilation and torture, which is 5.60% and represents 900 cases reported. Beating, with 7% with 1,094 cases reported. Fighting, with 8.70% that represents 1,049 cases reported. Shooting, 11.40% with 1,900 cases reported. Hoarding, with 12.40% and 2,100 cases reported. And other categories like biting, like kicking, poisoning, or strangulation, with 4,400 cases, and neglect or abandonment, which is the highest one, with 32.30%, with 5,500 cases reported. And this is a total of 17,055 cases reported since the year 2011 until today. Now that you have listened to my first main point, you will listen to wrong ideas of animal treatments. According to the organization Do Something, people think that animal in circus perform tricks for the love of their owners. But the truth is that their trainers resort brutal methods to take the position of dominance for their animals. Also, people think that after a show, the animals will rest in comfort, but the truth is that after a show, animals are locked in their cages and they are out until the next town in the next show. Also, people think that in laboratories, animals receive anesthesia or painkillers for the test. But the truth is that generally, animals are not given any anesthesia and they suffer extremely painful test sessions. And people think that in fur farms, animals are well taken care and they receive good treatment, but the truth is that animals in fur farms receive bad treatment, they are lack of food, clean water, they suffer chronic diseases, and they suffer mental distress. Now that you have listened to my second main point, you will know about some common places where animal cruelty is common and is legal. According to facts about animal cruelty, in the organization BornFreeUSA.org, many animals in laboratories are taken for tests, and about 100 million animals are taken to test food, drugs, chemicals, or more things in them. Also, animal in circus or shows that are entertaining for people die every day because people think this is fun, but the truth is that they suffer a bad treatment for their trainers. And animals in farms receive a bad treatment for their farmers, and about 50,000 million animals are killed every year because of their pets and their skin alive. So, which one of you, please raise your hand, the ones of you who will go out right now and start a campaign to defend animals' rights? Okay? Or please raise your hand, the ones of you who will sign up petitions to support the creation of laws for the animals. Thank you.
Time.
Hi, my name is Lauren. I do want to warn you, I don't know if the pictures may affect you or not. They may be a little bit graphic. Now I want to ask you if you can close your eyes and imagine that you're walking around at the loop at the mall with your friends. And you go into a store and your friends tell you that you're not cool enough or you're not daring enough to hang out with them. So what you thought daring meant or being cool to hang out with them is slipping an item into your pocket or to your bag and leaving right away. But what you didn't realize was that there's security and there's police officers around watching. And as you're walking outside, in that moment, that's when you realize that those friends aren't your true friends if they're pressuring you to do something you don't want. And at that moment, I realized that they weren't my true friends and that I was arrested and taken away. You can open your eyes. 100% of teens fall into peer pressure, no matter what kind of pressure it is. And this comes from Kids Health from Universe. Today I will be talking to you about peer pressure, and by the end you'll be able to understand how pressure can affect your teen. First is be yourself. Don't fall into peer pressure. Be a leader and not a follower. Just create your own style, because if not, you will be doing everything everybody else is doing. Think about it and the effects of the consequences it can happen to you. On this graph, I got it from the peer pressure survey statistics. And 30% of teens that are in middle school and high school are pressured every day. 25% are the ages from 18 to adult, and 13% are pressured for drugs. And for kids in preteens in elementary school, it's 32% that are pressured every day to do something they don't want. Peers influence your life every day, even though you're not realizing it, just by spending time with you. And I got this from Buzzle.com. Pressure is all over, even on the television. And teens are never pressured to have sex. This is not true. 23% of teens feel pressure from their friends to have sex. People believe that cutting themselves can harm and lead to suicide, to teen suicide. But in reality, bullying and harassment by a peer is the main reason teens harm themselves. And this comes from Kids Health topics. Now, 80% of teenagers are pressured to have sex because they want to be on TV. As many of you may know, the show 16 and Pregnant and Teen Mom. At first, it was just 4 girls that they started the show off. Now it's close to 50 girls that purposely get pregnant to be on these shows. And they're unintended pregnancies. 20% of people suffer from an eating disorder, and they're pressured to lose weight. They may seem very skinny, but when they look at themselves in the mirror, they don't see that. 60% of teenagers are pressured because they're too fat or not pretty enough. So 60% suffer from eating disorders and die each year. 20% of teenagers suffer from depression because they aren't pretty enough. And as it says here, 77% of girls think that they're ugly because they're told from their parents, from their friends, from their boyfriends, whoever it is, tell them. And 40% of teenagers are pressured to take drugs and to take over-the-counter drugs, mainly by their parents. And I got this from statistics on peer pressure. Over-the-counter may be Tylenol, Advil, but also there's other stronger drugs that teenagers take, and this is what happens to them. I'm asking you today, are you willing to take the risk to do something for your friend, like take something from the store just to prove you're cool enough? Now, are you willing to stand up and say no to peer pressure if someone is trying to drag you or someone that you know to do something you don't want? You don't make mistakes, you make a choice.